good morning. It is 25 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Oasis Computers, John's back with us. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good today.
Good deal. Well, of course, for folks that are not familiar, have not heard, John joins us once a month, and we talk technology when it comes to computers and anything from service to what's latest in technology to when you are ready to pull your hair out because you're having computer issues, what you can do to help get that done. So, John's back with us to save your hair follicles.
We'll do our best.
So I know we've been talking, in the past months about supply and demand and things because, with the world in which we live in, it's taking longer to get things done, and people are kind of trying to make things last longer that they may have not intended to do. But this product that you're just showing me here, this computer, this might be a solution for people that don't want to buy a new laptop every 2 years or feel like they need to be outdated every 2 years.
Well, like I said before we started, this is an end user serviceable computer. If you feel up to it, it's still, you got to get into it, whatever. It comes with a screwdriver brand new out of the box. So it's designed for you to take it apart if you want to. You can upgrade your memory if you need more easily. Not like the Apple product where it's all soldered on board. You can't do anything. Throw the whole thing away if you need more memory.
Sure.
If your drive that's soldered on the board goes bad, you can throw the thing away and lose your data if you didn't back up. So reminder, do back up. But this one is replaceable. And like what I was saying, right now Windows 11 has come out, 3 weeks ago, I believe. Mm-hmm. And that's great and wonderful, but it made all the not so really old machines obsolete.
Sure.
A 7th generation Intel processor is now pretty much obsolete, and they run good. They make good machines. They do a great job.
And people bought some of those brand new not too long ago, a couple years ago.
They still sell them. You can still run into one that you would buy that has a 7th gen in it. So the problem there is you got to throw the whole machine out in 4 years. Not necessarily right now, but in 4 years it wouldn't be upgraded. It can't run Windows 11 at that point, and then it gets unsafe. It doesn't quit working. You can still keep working. It's like running XP today or something like that. And then if that happens and you have a laptop like I have sitting here, then, you can sort of throw it out, even though it's fast enough, it's good enough, especially with the solid-state drive in it.
Sure.
You're happy with it, even 4 years from now, but no good. So in this one, the idea is that you can buy a board for it, not a whole machine, and then put a new board in it and upgrade it and get the rest going.
It's kind of, to do a comparison, when it's kind of like making the computer like a NASCAR car where they can just swap out parts and packages relatively quickly and easy to get it going again, where this one is designed to say, like you said, the motherboard, once it's obsolete, you're like, well, this one's, no, you can take the motherboard out, pop in a new one, and upgrade, and you're not buying for a whole new computer. You just whatever, a couple $100 or whatever it costs you for a new motherboard.
That's the idea anyway. Yeah. It is called a framework computer.
Okay.
They're still a little hard to come by. You order them in from the manufacturer, and they take orders, and then they get them ready in batches, and the batch goes back out.
Okay.
I'm waiting on another one for demo, for resale, for whatever. That one comes in pieces. This one was assembled. You have the option to assemble it yourself or not. Cracked screen is a deal too. On some machines, it's very expensive to do the cracked screen. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, they're gonna have the top available for replacement.
Okay, so just a couple screws and a connector or two.
Yeah.
And then undo that and redo that, and you're back in business pretty much.
Possibly stronger, because if it takes apart, it needs to be screwed down differently.
Sure.
It seems to be some kind of an aluminum. And hopefully it doesn't just break the hinges off like I fix 2 a week, it seems like.
Yeah, but even in theory, you can upgrade the screen easy. So say we got we got our 4K and all this
Right.
now. Whatever's next down the line in 5 years or whatever they're talking about, the latest in HD or whatever the new thing is.
Right.
Again, you buy a screen, couple screws and couple connectors, and you got it
Right.
swapped out.
Right.
And that's pretty handy.
You can, for instance, change your wireless adapter in there. So if that gets changed, what it's been changing slowly over the years, you could update it. It probably only goes so far, but it's much better than anything else that's pre-built. Oh, and the other thing is, you can't quite see it, I guess, but this is designed, it's a little tight still. It is designed like this. There's a USB 3.1 port.
Oh, wow.
USB-C, but it plugs into a USB-C port. So you got 4 of these here.
Okay.
And you can just get different modules.
Okay.
So I didn't know what I wanted to get, but I just got some of it.
So in theory, when they come up with new ports, style of ports that you can plug in a box and swap them out.
People break their USB port because the cord got hung up, whatever. Well, in this, this is a regular USB port.
Yeah.
So you just, take it out, order yourself another one in, if you can get it out. A little tight. Just order another one in and replace. Right now, I can replace a port on the board, but you're looking at, God knows, you got to take it apart, you got to solder it. You're looking at $150, $200 just to replace that port, if you can, if it works out okay. But that's fairly, it's not too small on the connector, so it's not too hard to solder. But here you just get another one in for, I think, $19.95.
You know what? This so reminds me of like when I was in the Air Force and how our aircraft are built. It's I was a weapons troop, and besides loading bombs, I also worked on the weapons system, so the electronics, everything involved with it. But the way they have everything, the system set up and everything, I mean, you have wires and everything you've got to shoot to chase each, to each component or part of the computers, but everything's like this package that you swap out, just kind of like those USB ports. So if you have one of the brains of the system there go down, it's literally some screws, pull it out, connectors, boom, pop it back in, very much like this. And so it's almost like they're taking technology they use in big things and bringing it to our small personal laptops.
I think it's just the state of mind. It's I don't know if it's easier or not easy to build, but it definitely is a lot easier to sell you another one if your screen breaks in it, and it's like expensive to fix, not fixable. Batteries. It's always it's a stupid thing. This battery is still inside it, but as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 5 screws, and I think the top comes off. I haven't had this one apart yet. I haven't had time for that. I'm waiting on the other one to build.
Okay.
And then top comes off, and you just probably grab the battery out, put a new battery in it. On a lot of machines now, especially, again, with the Apple, you end up taking it apart, losing it all up, and then throwing a bunch of alcohol in it to loosen up the glue. That seems to work pretty good. And then you chisel out, literally, with like a plastic credit card type thing or something.
Oh, wow.
Chisel out the battery because it's all glue under it, and then you got to put the new one back in. Now, batteries do go bad. Think of it, your car, you buy your car, a regular car, not electric car, your regular car, and what does your battery go for? 3 to 8 years, something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe 10 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But anyway, for a lot of people, around 5 years, they may need a new battery, maybe a little faster, sooner, whatever.
On average, I'd say about 5.
So your battery goes dead, and say, well, really, maybe you should just buy a new car because it's too hard to get the battery. It's stupid. You spill something on it, what's the first thing you want to do? Get the power away. Yeah. So pull the battery. Well, the old machines with 2 clips on the bottom and the battery pops out. Great. The
Nowadays,
new ones,
it's not like that. Yeah.
No, so many things are so stupid and they don't need to be. And I think the only reason for it is can make more money that way.
Get you to buy another one, proprietize this and that. And so hopefully, this is setting a new trend. That maybe if this
That's the idea, and
catches
I'm certainly behind it.
Yeah,
I'm certainly
I am too.
pushing it. I plan on having some in stock when this gets going a little better.
Now, what's the company that's doing this?
Framework. And
Framework,
They have a website if you want to check it out.
Okay.
And the website is frame.work.
Okay.
So FRAME period dot WORK. Work.
Okay.
Yeah, and it tells you about it, what they do, and whatever. You can order one there.
Okay.
And I'm planning to having some, like I said.
Okay. So that's going to be a product you're going to be putting on your shelf soon here. As you're
Why
doing
not? I will offer the option of, well, we got this standard stuff, and we got the framework computer now.
And I imagine too, if you get some clientele that want to do these, then you start carrying the extra components with it on, the extra USB ports and things handy.
That's
and
the idea.
People come in and say, I need a new USB port. You got it right on the shelf.
Right.
Here you go, and they can swap it out themselves. So, it's
whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel up to going into it, at least I can replace it easily at that point.
It'll take
it's actually
probably 10 minutes.
repairable. We right now the network wireless network adapter that's built into it is not too hard to replace on most computers, but you got to take anywhere between 5 to 25 screws out.
Yeah.
Take the bottom off. Depending on where it sits, sometimes you got to pull the motherboard out, whatever. Then you can get to the adapter, put another one in it. So the whole process going to cost you, what, $120, $150, somewhere like that, with a little bad luck.
Yeah.
Maybe a little better if it's easier to get to.
Yeah.
On this thing, you just take the 5 screws out, you take it out, it's almost like a tower.
Yeah.
Where you just go in and take the part out.
Take the parts you need, unscrew
and you put
them.
internal. What we do now with these machines is we sell an external USB wireless adapter and just plug it in on the outside. So between $20 and $35, you can get one of those. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than going inside in it. But then you have this thing sticking on the side again. Mm-hmm. So you can get away from that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I do too. I'm very, and so folks obviously come by Oasis Computers. You want to take a look at this and kind of learn a little bit more about it.
Anybody that's interested in, come in the morning and have a look at it. In another week or so, I hope to get the other one in, and then I can see what it looks like on the inside and whatever. I'm not gonna pull this apart because I need to use it.
Gotcha.
I replaced my other one.
I was about to say, is this going to be your main day-to-day user?
This is my main computer now.
Nice. Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, that's going to be the great test drive right there. I imagine after 5-6 months.
So far, so good. It's of course the high end. This one is a little over $2,000.
Okay.
But it's an i7 with 32 gigabytes of memory. What else? Terabyte drive in it, I believe.
But here's the part that's different, because someone's thinking, wow, well, $2,000, that's a lot for that laptop. But let me point this out. That's the same cost if you bought a laptop with the same specs in it, as far as the hard drive and all that. You're going to pay roughly around $2,000.
Yeah, anything that looks like this is nice and whatever.
Anyway,
it's going to be in that range too.
But here's the difference: that computer you just paid $2,000 for. Here in a year or two, it's going to have components that are outdated, and it's going to be either very difficult or impossible to replace them without buying the new computer. Where this one, you spent $2,000, and you're like, oh, it's now outdated a year later.
Right.
Oh, for $100, I can upgrade the motherboard or upgrade a hard drive or something.
The worst part in these computers, in these laptops, is the time from about right out of warranty till about a year or two afterwards. Mm-hmm. At that point, we can get parts, because parts come from what I call the junkyard. It's also known as Amazon and as eBay specifically. There's a lot of people selling. They take old computers and take it apart for parts and sell the parts again. Mm-hmm. What is a way of making a living. It's not too bad, I guess. I don't have enough room to store all the parts, so I try to store what I can, but, half the time we have to order it. So many different parts and whatever. And in that period, from new to about 3 years old, there are no used parts. Nobody has broken them yet. Nobody has damaged them, but people break the screen on it. Mm-hmm. And then if it's under warranty, you can probably send it in. Well, if you break a screen, it's not warranted. But, you can send it in. Maybe they'll fix it.
Sure.
We'll find out if you have to pay for it. It's like, I should buy another one for the cost that is cost. That's the experience that I've had with it. So here you can just order the screen, and if it's brand new and you broke it, or if it's older.
Yeah. It's literally you swap out what you need and go back and keep going. And in theory, you can hold on to that for a long time as long as they keep making the upgrades.
I guess the idea is as everything gets smaller, so we don't expect the motherboard that goes in here to get bigger anymore.
Right.
So in the future, all they have to do is make sure that the connectors fit up and that it's mounted in there.
Gotcha.
Now, if it's half-sized, well, then use half the place to put it in.
Sure.
But make sure you got wires or extension cords that go inside.
And I would imagine that would allow for additional technology that, hey, that's getting smaller. That's room for maybe technology.
Unless something drastically changes, like a whole new whatever. I can't imagine what at this point.
Well, we stop using wire or something to transmit or something. It's something ether. I don't know.
Ultimately, this comes down to you got a, what do we call it, a box, a thing to put stuff in. And as long as you make it fit, it doesn't matter what technology changes. You still have to have this.
Sure.
This
that interface is going to look roughly the same.
Put it in, So
yeah. I love the concept. I love the idea, and I love the fact that it goes against what really is the standard in that industry, where everybody else is, we're going to making you a product that's going to work for you for a couple of years, but it's designed to basically break down at a certain point and make you buy a new one. This one goes against that ideology, and that's more.
Yeah, make it last as long as we can, with technology in mind that you don't use, your Model T down the road. It does move forward.
It stays relevant with the technology. So you're not outdated, but you're not paying exorbitant amounts of cost to stay up to date with technology.
Right.
And that's what I love. It allows you to be in the game without, breaking the bank.
And I
account.
really like these USB things because we run a lot into that people break the HDMI port or the USB port or whatever.
Anything you got to constantly plug in and out.
Right,
or
it will wear.
Like,
it's obvious that it's going to wear out if nothing else.
Sure.
Even though they do pretty good, but here you have a main connector that is solid in there. That's not going to wear out, whatever, and then you can just replace the module.
Yeah. Yeah, because I imagine where the real construction work is on that thing is the parts that ideally you don't replace over time, the frame, the things that you keep connecting to. So they probably put a little bit more extra craftsmanship in those aspects of the design.
It looks solid too. It
gives
you a little bit of a feel of an Apple computer, but then without the it's all glued together type of deal.
Well, and it's also the perfect size. It's not bulky big. It's not teeny tiny where you can't. It's the Goldilocks where it's not.
Well, it's got the more square screen with the 2x3 or whatever they call it screen on it. But I like the long type screen, but with the quality of the screen, this is I think it's a 4K higher end screen than just the regular ones anyway. And what I realized is that this is not narrower from left to right. It's taller, so I basically have it. The old one that I had was like a little stretched out.
Okay.
So I felt like with the same quality of screen and what I could see, the old one was like this. So
gotcha.
It is not that it got shorter. I got more at the bottom.
Gotcha. Got a little taller, I guess.
Right. So I actually look at it this way. I have more that I can use here versus the other one.
Gotcha.
See, for a while it was that the longer screens were a little sharper, whatever. It looked like you got more where you could see it. But these newer screens are so sharp, something that many people don't realize either, that if it's pretty small, you can still read it.
I like that.
It's not the size of the screen; it's the sharpness of the text on it. And with the good screens, it looks like paper or printed or something. Just
good
about.
Deal.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great. It sounds like, to be honest, this sounds like a computer it's great for everyone. Whether you're a gearhead type that loves to fiddle and mess with stuff, to the person I just want to turn on my computer and do what I got to do. This computer is kind of for either one of those, because either way, if a problem happens, they can take it to you. You can fix it in 5 minutes or 15 minutes basically. But if you're one that likes to do it yourself and do all that, this computer kind of allows you to do that and not have to get lost in the weeds on how to fix something.
We have to see how the part supply is going to be. It's still new. I think they've been in business for, half a year now or so that they've been going. And so we don't know what the future brings on that.
Well, if
compared
to
some of the HP or Dell or whatever is out there, the newer ones, they're getting also small. The parts are getting smaller. So some of them have it nice like this one where the bottom just comes off. But then you can't get the parts.
It's great because, if people embrace this, it's going to be a win-win for everybody.
Right.
Because what's going to happen is if this technology takes off and this company blows up, it's going to force your other companies to do the same kind of thing.
I'm thinking a little bit in the lines of Elon Musk with his electric car.
Yeah.
He's been making electric cars, and everybody's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then he just went ahead and started building them. And then
if you
look at it and go, wait a minute, this may actually work.
Yeah.
Nobody else wanted to try it. He just pushed it forward.
People will embrace it if it's practical.
Right. So now everybody's pledging, we're going to make electric cars too. Ford, Chevy, whatever, everybody.
Sure.
Toyota, whatever.
And I guarantee when they can make an electric car that gets 400 miles and you can fill it up as quick as a gas gas-driven car, you're going to see electric cars all over the place. I guarantee it. It's happening. That's going to happen.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It does.
But
it's not until it's convenient for everybody.
I just got in a position that I got a guy coming in, fixed his computer up, got to talk to him for a little bit, and he said, I work for the New Mexico Solar Company. He's like, oh, well, does that work? Whatever. So I got signed up to put the panels on my roof at the house and the store. By the end of the year, they should be ready on the house and the store. They're working on the house right now. So the next step that I'm thinking is, electric vehicle. So plug it in your solar during the day at the store, charges it up, and there is no fossil fuel burning, whatever involved with it.
Yeah.
The only problem is, as long as I stay in town or drive to Artesia or whatever, it's great. But that those trips I had to make to out of town. Las Cruces, when the wife was in the hospital there, it's kind of like, how does that gonna work? I'm a little iffy on that one, but
we'll get there, and I know we will.
Sure.
And once we do, it's going to be a commonplace. So and I think this is that same thing.
The electric deal is going to be great because you produce enough electricity to be zero on your electric bill, pretty much. You supposedly pay $10-15 for a hookup fee because you got to have the electric company at night. It's not doing much on the sun.
Yeah, you got to be plugged in.
You feed it into them, and they give you enough back for the night. That's how that works. So the whole thing is done on a loan, and the loan is based on approximately what you spend on electricity is what your loan gonna be.
Okay.
Now, this started right before people are talking about the fuels are going to be more expensive, but we see them go up already. With this thing, my loan's going to stay the same, so my payment to that loan is going to be the same as the cost of electricity is going to most likely climb up. So it looks like a win-win situation.
Cool.
I'll keep you posted as to how it goes.
Yeah, I'm
pretty excited about it.
Yeah, good deal. I'm glad to. I hear some people love it, and then I've heard others don't.
Well, I've been thinking about putting a battery pack on it.
Yeah.
But they're expensive, and the way it's set up is you feed it into electric company, and they give you a night back. You don't make money with it, and it doesn't cost you electricity money.
Gotcha.
It costs you a hookup fee because they need to keep the equipment running on it, and so the battery pack, theoretically, you could charge it up over the day and then run it on the night. But that's not how they kind of want to go because the batteries are still so expensive and they do wear out. They have like between 5 and 10 year span on it or something like that. So the plan that they have does without a battery pack. If you want one, you got to throw that in. Okay. And they're like $16,000 or something like that.
Okay.
So it's like, well, we can always add it on later and see how it goes. Don't know yet.
Well, maybe it'll come down too later. The price
I assume that technology is going to get better and the price is going to be coming down somewhat on those. But Time will tell.
Yeah.
Just collecting the sunlight for electricity, it makes sense to me.
And I got to think a lot of what you're talking about there, in the future, like it's going to depend on the resources that it takes to make these batteries and finding. Like this is related but not related. I was watching. I had a lot of time to watch TV last 2 days with my colonoscopy stuff, but there was a special where they're up in Canada. They were flying this big helicopter with this big, basically metal detector that they were hovering over, and they're looking for like lithium and all these things, and I guess they're finding big reserves up in Canada of this stuff.
Oh.
So these are probably potential spots for where they're going to be the places we get the material to make these batteries and things. And the way I understand it is it's the difference between, say, this lithium stuff and fossil fuels is the lithium, they pull it out and then they can keep reusing it over and over again. In theory, we don't need to have to keep digging for it. They get it and they get it out, and now it's good forever. You recycle it, and so in essence, you keep using the same lithium.
Well, it would work definitely better in recycling than burning a gallon
exactly. And so that's kind of the difference.
Fuel is gone.
Because people keep saying, well, great, now you're going to tear up the earth going for lithium. And it's like, well, the difference is it's a one-time deal. Once they go get it and everything, they don't need to keep going for it. They once they got enough here, they can reuse. Because once
there's a good point there. Now it makes me think of the Bitcoin deal. Everybody hyped up about that, but we hear very little how much energy that cost.
Yeah.
Now, if you can keep these Bitcoin computers running on a solar energy or something like that, it wouldn't be too bad. But I don't know what the numbers are that they use, but you can run. I don't think it's half the country on it, but it's a tremendous amount of electricity that gets poured in, and equipment, because I can buy video cards, partly due because Bitcoin miners want these video cards.
Sure.
And they spent more for it than a gamer once. So
yeah, because
and then the supply chain problems, so whatever. But it's got to be better in my opinion. The fossil fuels were made by the sun a long time ago. The way I've been taught, anyway, the way I understand it. So why not use the sun directly? You got the.
That's what I think. I think once they figure out how to do it in a practical way, then it's going to be great. We're just in that part where we're learning.
Yeah, and we're fighting the change. Sure. Nobody believes in it. I can never work.
And to be honest,
too much negative.
I think all are going to be part of the party. I don't think fossil fuels aren't going away anytime soon, because right now, every single thing that's plastic or any of this stuff relies on fossil fuels to make that. And until they find an ulterior source for something else, it's going to be in the industry.
I've said for years, aren't we stupid by burning our oil? We make plastic out of it, medicines, all kinds of stuff that maybe we don't want those either.
Yeah.
The plastic problem.
But until we figure out the change there, that's what it is.
If you burn it, it's gone. If you make plastic out of it, you can use it better, longer, I would say.
Well, I would assume, like the lithium, it's recyclable and everything else, so. Depending on
the types
you
don't
of
burn it. It's used. It's like a gas can.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
The electricity is the gas in the can, so you collect that from the sun. But the can, if it rusts out or however you look at it, it wears out.
Right.
You can recycle the can. It's not burned.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's I think how we have to look at it. It may take too much to recycle the lithium. It may not. I don't know.
Sure.
But it's not gone away.
Right.
You could extract it back out of itself.
A reusable, renewable resource. Yeah, exactly. Which, and I think once they make those types of things to where it's in the everyday, like when we go to the gas station to get to fill up your car, when life is like as easy as that for people to do these things, then that's going to be the mainstay.
Right. And anybody that says, well, it will never work because whatever reason, I'm just looking at what I've seen over the time that I've done computers, laptops, the battery didn't last, the battery was lousy, you would not charge it correctly, it would lose its charge. All that is a lot of it is gone.
Sure.
They don't last as long as we want them to, but, much better than it was. And you would have to charge the darn thing every, 2.5 hours when in the early days, if you made it that long. Now they can go for a day.
Yeah. Now
And
it's
longer.
practical, and people
Right.
have them all over the place.
So, yeah, the battery technology has changed.
Yeah.
And then, to come back to our NUCs, people come in and say, I need to buy a tower. And I point them to the little NUC, next unit in computing from Intel, the little square computer. They go, I don't know. And then I always have to pull my phone out. Remember how little you could do with this? You
Right.
could make phone calls on it. That was it. Now it's like a computer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
hand them something that's like, that ain't going to get the job done. It's like, no, you don't get it.
Right. So, it's all getting more effective and whatever and worthwhile.
Absolutely. I just sold the time and realized we're running out of it.
We must have been talking good.
Well, it's you know what? If you want to learn more about this laptop and this technology, or like I said, if you the holidays are coming around here, please, if you're looking to really, I guess, resurrect some older technology, or if you're looking to upgrade or get new technology,
One more time.
talk with John here at Oasis Computer. He's got you covered, and ask more about its frame. What's the name of it again?
Framework.
Framework is the name of the company that makes this laptop. You can do your own research here, but if you want to kind of see it, smell it, touch it kind of thing, come by Oasis Computers and check it out here.
Come between 8 and 12:30.
Yes.
We're open from 8 till 1, but I've learned that I can't get out at 1 if I say we're open from 8 till 1. So be no later than 12:30.
Okay.
If you bring something in, pick something up no later than 12:45.
Very good.
I've now changed it that at 12:45 nobody came in. I'm closing up and leaving.
Gotcha. Okay.
So basically, so that
you got to
if
about
somebody
12:30.
comes in, I can leave actually at 1.
Okay. So
I got to get back home to take care of the
Take care of your
woman
wife
at
and
home
everything.
that
Yeah.
needs some attention at that point.
yeah. So 12:30, get your stuff in between 8 and 12:30, Monday through Friday.
Monday to Friday.
You can also call if you have
Right.
questions. What's the phone number over at the office?
575-625-9141.
Very good. And
1703 North Garden Avenue, not to confuse it with Atkinson.
right behind the Wool Bowl there.
Yeah, across the street from the rear exit of the Wool Bowl
Yeah,
Stadium.
yeah.
We're right across the street from it.
Yep, can't miss it. Come on
Right.
and bring your computers and let John here.
And then on a last note, the stock is up in the store. I don't know if it's up anywhere else, but I've been managing to get a couple of computers of all types
Oh,
in
good.
the little NUC especially.
Okay.
So I have a few with the holidays coming. If anybody needs a new one, upgrade, whatever.
Okay.
So
You managed
looking
to
good.
procure a few
Yeah,
things.
I keep looking almost daily if there's some available from the distributor that I get them from.
Cool.
And when they are, I'll buy what I can afford, and then I have some.
Sounds good. So come on by Oasis
Yeah.
Computers. Let them help you out. If you got a technology problem, just call John and let him handle it for you. He's got you covered.
Right.
So.
We'll find a solution.
Thank you, sir. Have an awesome
Thank you.
Thanksgiving if I don't see you between now and
Thank
then.
you. You too.
And I will see you here next month, all right?
Okay.
All right. Take
All right.
care, John.
One more time this year.
Yes, right. 7:58, quick break before news. Don't go away.
We